Hi, this is Tony Silva, and I'm going to be your teacher for Integrated English this year. Congratulations on finding this video, and congratulations on being admitted to what I think is a really good university. I'm sure you worked very hard to be admitted, and I'm sure you made your parents very proud. I've been teaching in Japan for a long time, since 1991, and I've taught a lot of different universities. And I can say that my students at Osaka University are special. It's a special place, and you should feel quite proud and happy about your accomplishment so far. Um, Apologies for this being so late. Things changing every couple of days, every couple of hours. And rather than do things two or three times, put up the wrong information for you last week, I thought I would wait until I was sure that things were finalized. So, again, ideally, I would like to have gotten this to you a little bit earlier. Sorry. Also, very, very sorry about the way that this year is beginning. I'm sure that none of you thought that this was what your university life was going to be like. It is difficult in ordinary circumstances. Foreign language study at Osaka University. Most of you in my advanced classes. My class may or may not be the most difficult integrated English class on campus. I don't know. You check the black book and see what they say. But it's not easy ordinarily. And this year, it's not going to be easier. It's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of technical difficulties. There are going to be lots of other challenges because of the nature of us communicating this way outside of a classroom, not face to face and things. So yes, it's going to be really hard, and we're going to make it as easy as we can, of course. But basically, the short answer is get tough. I know that's not what you want to hear, but yeah, it's going to be hard, and there's going to be challenges. But we're going to do this together. I'm not leaving you out to hang on your own. My own email appears a number of places in the materials that I prepared for you, which I'm sure you've all read already, right? Yeah, of course. But anyway, there's a lot of I know there's a lot of information there, and there's a number of documents, and I'll walk through them very quickly in this video. I will go quickly because I don't want this to be long, and it's something that you can download, watch over and over again if you choose to. I'm going to attempt to load it to YouTube so you can watch it there, maybe save some data on your phone. And if you're watching it on YouTube, you will also be able to use the closed caption functions to make things a little bit easier to understand at the beginning. And it's also, I think, hard for you, not academically, but I am very aware that for students in Japan specifically, university life is not a small thing. I mean, just entering university. I talked about being admitted to Handai. It's a real fork in the road in your life. It's a deciding point, and everything changes. And beginning university life is a special time, and you're kind of getting cheated on that a little bit. And I'm really, really sorry. Of course, there's nothing anybody can do about that. But there are some advantages to this, like with many hardships. When we face hardship and we overcome hardship and challenges, that often makes us a little bit stronger. And some of you already have learned that lesson. Some of you are about to learn it. That's generally true. That's true for everybody. Also, making the mistakes that we make or that you see that other people make, other observations that you have, things that you learn, will make you wiser person. And this experience also is going to force you in some ways to grow up a lot faster. I mean, a lot more self-reliant. And again, facing those hardships and solving them by yourself. It's going to give you a level of maturity that first-year students probably don't get most of the time. So it's not all bad. I mean, there's some good things about it. I'm going to, not today because I think you have too much to look at and too much to read, but on Thursday when we have our first Zoom meeting together, details to come, I'll give you another link to a podcast that I just finished, I haven't posted yet, with some of my students from last year, talking to them about how the COVID virus, the coronavirus, is affecting them and their lives, their school lives, their personal lives. And I think it's kind of interesting if you've got an hour to listen to what your senpais have to say. It's might give you a little bit of hope, a little bit of extra energy, a little bit of more optimism for the year to come. One of the things that's really important always, but especially this year, I talked about us doing this together, but a real big part of that is the communication. And that responsibility falls on you. The conduits, the pipes coming to me are open. It's your responsibility, and you need to let me know if there's something that you don't know. If the instructions that I gave you in the written documents or in our Zoom sessions or in this video are not clear, you need to let me know. If there's things that you don't understand, you need to let me know. If things are too difficult or if things are taking too much time or anything else, you need to let me know. Communication, it's two ways, right? And we've got to keep that open. That's really essential for our success. So please, don't be afraid. And I usually have a whole little extra performance that teaches students the American expression about chicken, but we want to make this as short as possible. So I'll save the performance. Maybe we'll look at it in the fall semester. And sorry about that little blurb there that shouldn't be showing, but it's there anyway. Anyway, don't be afraid. Let me know what's happening. Communication is really important, really important. And I've got this little notes thing here. Let me just put that up there for you here. It appears everywhere in the documents that I gave you, but you can take a look at it now there and see and make a note of it if you need to. But I hope you don't. You don't need to. Just very quickly about me. I'm your teacher. You want to know who's teaching you. As I said, I've been in Japan since 1991. I've taught at, I don't know, maybe 15 different universities, at least 12, maybe more, over the years. Again, almost 30 years. I probably taught over 15,000 students. Certainly this year will put me over 15,000 students. I'm from Chicago in the United States. Before I came to Japan, I was already doing some writing. I was writing for a car magazine. I was amateur race car driver. I wrote for a national car magazine, a humor article. Well, when we get to the writing very soon, just a few weeks, I'll show you some of my writings. And, a few books here in Japan, a couple of textbooks, another book for foreign businessmen on Japanese meetings. I've also written a number of articles. Used to review headphones and earphones for Macworld and PC World. And I'll share some of those things with you. Before I came here also, when I was studying Japanese in the United States, I also was practicing karate for a number of years, Nidan karate and a kind of an offshoot of Kyokushin karate. So I know a little bit about challenge and hardship and getting tough. So I'm not talking without experience. So I know what that's like, and I know what it's like to face a very fearful, uncertain situation. But again, you're going to establish a good relationship with your classmates. I'm here. Again, the communication path is open, so you're not alone. Okay, please remember that. Very, very important. I guess maybe let's look at some of the documents real fast so that kind of walk you through. You found this video, which I hope is going to be easy to find on the Cohen CLE. The first document that we've got is the introduction, which you can, I hope, identify as the first one, and just kind of tells you what's happening, right? So this Thursday we're going to have a Zoom meeting for each of the classes. So if you're in the first period, it'll begin about 8:50. The second period will begin about 10:30. The third period about 1 o'clock. Here's the information that you need. I think a lot of you are already doing Zoom meetings. If you're doing it from the web, all you've got to do is go to this URL. This is if you're going from within the Zoom application. This is the meeting ID. The password, my name, very easy to remember. You don't have to go back and forth between letters and numbers. No space, Tony Silva, easy to remember. And see you on Thursday. Included in right there in the CLE is a tentative calendar for the semester. And it's tentative. I mean, it's going to change. Can't say how. I don't know if we're going to have to speed it up, if we're going to have to slow it down, if the school is going to throw us some curveballs and we're going to have to change because of them. We will see. But right now, that's my best guess as to how our 13 or 14 weeks will pan out over the summer. Usually, I have a separate web page for my students. I didn't do that this year. The university wants us to stay within the CLE system as much as possible. And so this will be where all your information appears. Again, if you're watching this, you've already found it. You don't need to learn any new systems. It's already built in. Among the documents I made for you is a general one on email etiquette. This is maybe a new word for some people, etiquette, manners. And that's useful not just for our class, whenever you're sending me an email, because it's primarily how we're going to correspond outside of the Zoom meetings. And it's not just for when you send email to me. The rules there apply to whoever you are writing to. And so email is going to be a really big part of your university life. It's going to be part of your work life afterwards. Your first-year students now learn the proper way to send email, just some basic considerations, some basic manners, what information you should always include, how to format an email, some considerations about email addresses, for example, and your email signature, so forth and so on. So anyway, lots of very useful information, not just for our class, right? For you in general. Specific to our class is, I guess I can highlight this for you here, a document that has, and we'll take a look at it together, instructions on how to submit your work to me, right? So two different kinds of emails. One, it might be personal to me. You have a question, something you don't understand. You need me to explain something a little bit more. You have a question about something else, another class, maybe just a class about English usage. Fine, no problem. That goes to one address. When you're submitting your work, or homework, an essay, whatever it might be, regular assignment, that goes to a special address. And this explains how to do that. And the other document that's here is your assignment for May 1st. Very simple, very easy, nothing difficult about it. But I do want you to follow these instructions when you do submit this work. So this is part of it. This is part of the assignment, learning how to do this properly. The assignment itself is actually, for you guys, very, very easy. Not much of a challenge at all. But it is important that you follow the instructions and submit it properly. Grading. Again, it's a little bit different. Ordinarily, a big part of our first semester is spent with discussion type classes. Because of the nature of this, we're not going to be able to do that. You might not be aware of it yet, but there's 40 or 45 students in our class, and trying to do that online and make it meaningful for you or for me is really, really hard. So we juggle the candle a little bit. We're going to postpone all the discussion to the second semester, and hopefully we'll be in a real classroom and discussion will be a little bit easier to carry out. And the first semester is going to split between basically two big projects. First is a persuasive essay, formal academic essay, and we're going to be working on that right away, which is a little bit different in a lot of ways than the essays that you've written in high school, probably. It involves research, it's academic writing, which is different from what you've done, and documenting your research. So it's a research paper. You use other people's ideas, other people's words. You've got to say where that comes from. There are rules how to do that. So we'll work with that in the first half of the semester. The second half of the semester, we're going to work on presentations. And that's really important, I think, for a lot of reasons. When we get to the presentations, I'll explain a lot more about it. Again, I don't want to make this too long, but being able to persuade people, being able to express your ideas, that's a real powerful tool for yourself, for your family, for your community, for your job. Change the world. What's really nice about presentations is that when we learn to do that in English, it translates really well into most other languages, whether it's Hindi, Swahili, Japanese, Korean, Chinese. The rules for presentations, not that different. So whatever we do, be directly applicable to other situations in life. Writing? No. Writing in English, writing in Japanese, very, 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 very different. Very, 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 very different. And we'll go through that. Then general assignments, for example, what we've got for next week, it's not related to the essays, it's not related to presentations. There'll be a handful of those through the semester, about 15%. And then your participation, how often you're logging in, how much you contribute, et cetera, et cetera. So that's also a small part of it. And that'll make up your grade. Again, grading is to be kind of loose because, again, this is a very, very unusual semester. The textbook, if you've looked at it, if you've got it, you can see it's all about discussion topics. As again, it's all going to be in the second semester. So we won't need the textbook until October. So if you bought it, please don't lose it. Okay, keep it on hand. Okay, and then there's just a little summary of what I've talked about so far. The documents that I sent that provided for you on the CLE, read all of them. Anything you don't understand, write it down. Write down your questions. When we have our meeting on Thursday, you'll have a chance to ask. Again, about asking questions. We're going to get together. There's going to be 40 people there, maybe. There's maybe 35. Some people won't be there. It takes a little bit of courage to speak up and ask a question, but don't ever feel like you're the only one. I promise you, we've got 35 or 40 people. If one person doesn't understand something, there's another 10 or 15. They don't understand either. I promise you. It's never one person. You ask a question, you get your answer. 2, you help out the other people in the class that are too shy to ask. It's like, I'm glad she asked that question because I didn't know either. I was like, how about you? I didn't know either. 3, it helps me because again, it's never just one person. So if you ask a question you don't understand, I'm pretty sure there's another big group of people out there they don't understand either. And that's what makes it a successful class. The class begins, people don't know things. I explain, people understand, they leave. Now they know things, they understand things that they didn't know before. This is my idea of what school is, right? I don't expect you to know everything. I expect you to have big holes in your knowledge. I expect you to have questions. I expect you to have things I don't understand. And those things that you don't know, things you don't understand, if we can cover those in class and learn them together, that's what makes a good class, right? So anyway, you got a lot of documents. Look them over, write down your questions, bring them on Thursday. Show up at the Zoom meeting on Thursday. Okay, some of you may be the first time, but I think most of you have done this already. Students that I've talked to, other teachers, everybody's starting to do this already. So hopefully you've got some experience. If not, it's pretty easy. It's pretty basic. You do have an assignment due on May 1st, which we will look at in a second. And always check the CLE for documents, all right? Here's the calendar itself for spring semester. This Thursday we have our introduction, read all the material, watch the video before the meeting. The following week we don't meet, right? Because on Thursday you have your Wednesday classes. But you do have that assignment due on May 1st, okay? Which is the following week. That gives me a chance to look at it, put things together, and then we'll talk about what you submitted, what the problems were, what people's questions were, et cetera, in our next class. And then we'll begin the writing skills. And again, as the date approaches, there'll be more information for you on the CLE for you to download. But here you've got our plan for the rest of the semester. Again, especially out here, a lot of this might change, right? So don't be surprised if it does change, right? Here's the URL for the CLE, but you know that already. Here's my email address. Again, it's on the page of the calendar, so if you print it out, you've always got this. Again, this is for contacting me, not for submitting work. Here's the document on email manners. The rules that you do. There's an example that you can download, and here's another useful web page that talks about sending professional emails. So again, this is not just for our class. This you can use for all your classes. This PDF talks specifically about our class, about how to submit your work by email, including your assignment for May 1st. Each class has its own email address, right? So when your work comes to me, it automatically gets put in a special folder for your class. I don't see it. It just goes there automatically. And you get an automatic reply. It says, "Hi, I got your submission. I got your work. It came. I received it. Everything's good. I haven't read it. I don't know when I'm going to read it, but I did receive it." So you know that if you send me your work and you don't get one of these replies relatively soon, might be a problem. If you're worried, maybe you want to send it again. But again, as the semester goes on, you'll get used to seeing what's happening. Notice each one's a little bit different, right? So Tony Silva .shukudai plus Thursday 1 Mokuyobi Chinengeme, right? So Ichigeme Mokuyobi, Thursday first period class, second period, third period, fourth period. I think you can figure out what class you're in. So your email will go to the right folder. More explanation. Make sure you put the enough information in the subject field. So like your name in Romaji, please, your class, and then describe what's in it, right? And this is kind of an example. Okay, Terremoto Reina, she puts her student number there. Homework, July 31st, her presentation outline, something that you guys will do much later on. And okay, but she left out her class, right? I can see here that it's Thursday, fourth period, but that's not always visible, right? So small mistake, but that's generally what it looks like. An example. When you submit your work, it's fine if you, like in this case, where she just pasted the contents into the email. by itself. You can do it as an attachment in Word and PDF, Pages, RTF, basically anything. The only thing that I've had some problem with in the past is ODT files. Sometimes they get a little bit funky. Don't know why. If you're sending me some documents that's in the cloud, make sure that it's not password protected, because a lot of times people says, "Oh yeah, here's it's up in my Word document up here," and I try to get it, say, "Oh no, you need a password." So make sure it's not locked, or if it is locked, make sure that I get the password. Okay, and so this is how you submit work, and then this is your document for your assignment on May 1st. And this explains what you need to do. So follow the rules for submitting work, which we just looked at, okay, with email addresses. 3 parts. Paragraph 1, okay, about 100 words. Introduce yourself, whatever you want to say, whatever express yourself. What do you like? What are your hobbies? Where are you from? Whatever's important for you, right? What clubs you wanted to join, or what you wanted to do. Maybe it's sports, maybe it's hobbies, maybe it's your family, maybe it's a part-time job, maybe you got like a special interest. Maybe you're a pre-Olympic swimmer. Maybe you're an ace tennis player. Maybe you're in a band. Just let me know about yourself. I told you a little bit about myself, right? Chicago, race car driver, writer, karate, things like that. So whatever it is that you think might be interested. And if you want, you can talk about, how you're coping with this coronavirus situation. Are you stuck in a dorm in Toyonaka? Are you back in your hometown with your family? Has it been easy? Has it been difficult? What are your thoughts? How do you think it's going to affect your future? That's fine too. And again, I had the podcast and I talked about this with a couple of my students from last year. If you want to take a look at it, it should be up by the 21st anyway, by Tuesday. I'm going to try to do it today. Also, another paragraph about the material, right? So after you've read the material, comments, questions, things you didn't understand. This lecture, this introductory talk that I'm giving, I know that I'm talking really quickly because I'm trying to make this not too long. So don't panic if it seems like I'm talking really fast. I am talking very fast. Usually it's about one of the classes about writing the essays that I usually have at least one student crying in class because it's too difficult and he or she doesn't know exactly what to do. But I kind of outdid myself last year. Last year I made a student cry on the first day because she came up to class. She says, "I didn't understand one thing you said." Of course, she was speaking perfect English. And I says, "I don't believe you. I don't believe you." And she right on tears. But for a lot of you guys, it's a new experience, right? Most of you are used to being at the top of your class. You're used to being the best. Well, everybody in our class is used to being the best. And for all of us who we're used to being at the top, now we find ourselves in a situation where we've got to fight to get to the top, or maybe fight just to get to the middle. That's not a good feeling. I get it. And especially at the beginning, it can feel very overwhelming and very hard. I get it. But don't worry. We're going to do this together. We will do this together. Again, communication, right? Let me know. Okay. So here, and this would be a good place. This is where you let me know. Say, hey, you're talking way too fast, and I didn't interrupt your video. Oh yeah, I know. Okay, sorry. But anyway, introduce yourself. talk about the documents, so forth. And third part, include a selfie with the email. Okay, partly it's practice attaching a document, but also I want to know what you look like. I want to know who you are. Right? I'm giving you this video. You got this nice smiley picture of me. But it doesn't need to be a formal portrait photograph. But no animal ears, no animal nose, no mask, no glasses, no distortions. I want it to look like you. I want to be able to see that it's you. So it doesn't have to be formal. It can be fun. It can be casual. But I want to know what you look like. And that's that. Okay, so we got it in under a half an hour here. Again, if you've got comments and questions, it go right here in the second paragraph of your homework for May 1st. But before then, bring it up on Thursday. Again, it's going to be our first Zoom meeting. I don't know how many people will be there, either by choice or because they have technical issues. We'll see. But they'll begin at the start time for your class. So first period 8:50, second period 10:30, etc. We will not go the full 90 minutes. I don't think that's kind. That's kind of a little bit too much. It's kind of torture, I think. Nobody can sit and watch the screen for 90 minutes. And then maybe you've got another class and have to do another session right after that. So we will not take the full 90 minutes. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know how many people will be there. I don't know how active you'll be with your communication. I don't know what kind of questions you'll ask. But to give you an idea what we'll talk about after your questions and your comments, if we answer everything, we'll take a look at some basic writing skills. I'll give you a link for as an assignment for the following class way back, on the thing, and we'll see how it goes. Right. So we'll get together, we'll talk, see what's happening, and if all that's finished, we can kind of move on to the next topic. But again, we're going to start a little bit easy. So again, if you got questions, make note of them, bring them on Thursday, and we'll see you then. All right. So again, apologies for the way that we're beginning this semester, and I look good luck on getting through the documents and the material that I left for you. I know it's kind of a lot. And good luck with the rest of your classes. And I'll see you on Thursday. All right? Okay. See you then. Bye-bye.